Dear friends, good morning on Monday the 13th of July. This week I'm going to share some thoughts prompted by a wonderful book that I've just started reading called Gentle and Lowly, The Heart of Christ for Sinners and Sufferers by Dane Ortlund, published this year. The question that this book addresses is, how does Jesus feel about us sinners and sufferers? It's not really a question I've given very much attention to, but I'm really enjoying this book and finding it such a comfort. In chapter 4, Ortlund quotes Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15. We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathise with us in our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted, just as we are, yet without sin. Now we tend to think that Jesus is with us at our side and helping us when things are going well. This says the opposite. It is in our weaknesses that Jesus sympathises with us. To sympathise means literally to suffer with. This is not a cool and detached sympathy, but the sort of anguish and pain that a parent goes through when they see their child suffering. In our pain, Jesus is pained. In our suffering, Jesus suffers. But the real shock and scandal of this verse is that Jesus has been tempted or tested, not just as we are, but in every respect as we are. Now, all of our life is tainted with sin. Nothing that we do is unaffected by it. Isaiah reminds us that all our righteous deeds are like filthy rags, but not so with Jesus. He had no sin. He was holy, blameless, pure, set apart from sinners. But nevertheless, he was tempted in every way, just as we are. That means Jesus was tempted to worship idols, to misuse God's name, to overwork, to dishonour his parents, to covet, to lie, to steal, and yes, even to murder and commit adultery. It's hard to imagine this of someone who was sinless. But he felt the full force of all the temptations that we face. And his temptations were even greater than ours, because he never gave in. When we give in, the agony of temptation disappears in the temporary relief that sin brings. But Jesus never gave in, so the agony of temptation continued for the whole of his life on earth. That's why he's able to sympathise with us. There's no temptation that we face that he has not endured, but to an even greater extent than us. But Jesus' sympathy doesn't end there. The next verse encourages us to draw near to the throne of grace, so that we might find grace in our time of need. Because Jesus succeeded at every point where we fail, and resisted temptation every time we give in, his sinlessness is our salvation. When Jesus, the sinless one, died in our place on the cross, his sinlessness was credited to us. This is the grace that we need in our time of greatest need, when our consciences accuse us, when the relief of sin grows sickly sour on our tongue. We are assured of not only his forgiveness, but of his perfection credited to us. What a wonder. Take a moment to worship and adore such a perfect Saviour. God bless you today.